Good afternoon, everyone. I call the May 25th, 2023 City Council meeting to order. The clerk will call roll.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Mr. Foley?
Here.
Mr. Hunt? Mr. Hunt?
Here.
Mr. Anderson?
Here.
Mr. McElroy?
Here.
Mr. Rick?
Here.
Here.
Thank you, Councilwoman Travis. Will you please lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous sky o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner o'er the land of the free and
I thank everyone for their patience. We had some technical difficulties at 4 o'clock, but we are good to go. Do want to make a note for everyone speaking this evening. Please speak directly to the microphone and speak clearly. We have a little different setup tonight, and if you are not speaking, please keep your microphone off. And people in the gallery, please keep the comments down, the talking, it's going to be picked up on the audio, so all compliments that you're giving, all the council people will be picked up, so I was giving everyone a fair warning on that. We're on general communications. This is announcements of congratulations, condolences, and community events. I have one to make an announcement that on Monday at 10 a.m. there will be a Memorial Day ceremony at Warwick Veterans Middle School, and members of the public are invited to attend. Are there any other announcements of congratulations, condolences, community events, members of the council? Councilman Leonard.
Yes, Mr. President, thank you. I would like to request a moment of silence for the passing of the moment.
Absolutely. We'll have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. And again, Councilman, our condolences from all. Any other general communications from members of the council? Okay, next up is executive communications. There are none, so we're going to move to public comment. There's the sign-up sheet here. We do a last call, and I'm going to ask someone to grab that. So public comment, rule 41. After general communications and prior to the consent calendar at the last regularly scheduled meeting of the city council of each month, there shall be a period of time not to exceed 30 minutes during which citizens may comment about all the city government issues subject to the following stipulations. The total period of time for public comment shall not exceed 30 minutes. Comments need to be brief in order to allow as many citizens as possible to participate. Each citizen signed up and present shall have not to exceed 5 minutes to speak, provided, however, that if more than 6 citizens are signed up and present, the 30 minutes will be split evenly among speakers. Time shall not be transferable among speakers. Topics for comment shall be issues directly affecting city government. City council members will not respond to questions during public comment period. The public comment session will terminate at the expiration of either the earlier or all speakers group, including their allotted time for the 30 minutes. Waiver of this provision requires unanimous vote of the council. We have 5 individuals signed up. The first individual is Barry. If we could just turn the mic on for Mr. Cook.
I just received a text from a constituent saying that the audio was moved.
Yeah, we just got it might be mumbling too, but yeah, we'll do the best we can.
Henry Cook, 20-year resident of Ward 1, president of the Warwick Taxpayers Association. I'd like to take most of my time to read into the record some of the comments that I received from members of my association, various Facebook pages, neighborhood groups. I'll start off with what happened to our fair city. It seems years of internet voting, poor choice of candidates, and poor judgment on the part of officers has taken its toll. We may very well have reached the point of no return when it comes to governmental management of our municipal endeavors and sustainability. Please pray for our city and its people as we are at the edge of the deep dark abyss and beginning to lead into a giant morass of financial destitution. The lack of prudent question regarding the budget we're speaking about. The lack of prudent question is deplorable. Coupled with administration, I'll skip that part, that's time to rock. Even spending the taxpayers' money, let me go by that again. Another big question again, you need a mayor. Another big question again, giving his daughter a 35% pay raise. Isn't that my comments? Isn't that my comments? I'm reading comments to see like our city leadership has been more intelligent discourse if the majority of the council will reflect on that. You all should be ashamed of yourselves for not calling out this administration. All the taxpayers have better start taking notice of what's going on in the city. While Christmas lights and a new ice cream are pleasant distraction, the city is hemorrhaging money. When will mayor propose and the city council finally level the taxpayers and let them know how much the property taxes are going to do? Now that the first tsunami wave has hit, residents and small businesses have seen increases ranging from hundreds to thousands of dollars. More massive waves are lurking in the horizon. The question is, no longer will they hit, but how soon will they hit? This evening, the majority of the city council is poised to pass another irresponsible budget proposal by mayor proposal. A new program will be initiated to set up a retiree employee health care trust fund. It will require just about the same amount of new tax dollars, $68 million, in the next 9 years versus the combined tax dollars needed for city citizens over the last 20 years, that was $71.5 million. The city council is incapable of making sound financial decisions. The city administration, led by the mayor and in combination with the Internet Council, is going to back up the city as well as many local taxpayers. And yet, the city council chamber is empty. This is the county money. In the 3 years that's been proposed to in office, spending has increased by approximately $32 million, an average of more than $10 million a year. Keep in mind, the maximum tax increase generates about $8.5 million in revenue. Expect no large tax increases in the very near future on the top of the line just received. Many people don't understand there's a significant tax increase baked into the new tax rate from the revaluation of homes. In addition, small businesses, which make up 85% of all businesses in the city, will be paying much more taxes due to the change in the tax ratio that allows the city to charge businesses and their owners 175% of the residential rate. The old rate was 157% of the residential rate. With massive spending by the school department and the city, and plans to build new hospitals, and $68 million in the next 9 years to fund free healthcare for life, some will see their taxes double in the next 5 to 7 years. I believe the reason the chamber was empty has to do that it will not change the law.
You have 1 minute, Mr. Cook.
Let me get past that, Father. Thank you very much. I think the gist of my message is clear. I want to come to basically find the improper use and misuse of our money, rainy day fund money, healthcare insurance reserve money, property sale to both, into both the operating budget and the OPEB irresponsible. I also feel it's an inconceived plan to use money from the 40-year plan to fully fund these 5 years of the. In closing, I want to offer the neighborhood some plans and good suggestions, one of which is going to be consider looking at zero-based budget. Zero-based budgeting is applicable to industry and municipalities, and I'll be forwarding some information to you. Thank you.
Mr. President, for clarification, if you know what, no, we can't comment, that's thank you. Next up is Robert.
Robert was, I can't believe I left the sanctity of my home to speak when my words fall on deaf ears. You know, in all the years I've watched the waste and abuse in this city and documented, it's never been worse. It's the worst it's ever been. People hiding out in the woods, trucks left running, people driving around, not getting out of their vehicles. No one's doing a damn thing about it. The waste is noxious, and I can document it on everything. You know, Mayor, instead of building outside restaurant, we really need that as a priority. Should build a pet park over at Station 1. And then all the firefighters can bring their pets and take them for joy rides. The city's ridiculous. I'm going to just share with you a couple of numbers. Since this page got elected, this is on salaries and increases. Tax collector department up $116,000. City assessor up $202,000. MIS up $117,000. Purchasing department up $95,000. Boards and commissions $5,300. No big deal. Animal shelter salaries up $32,000. Police department salaries up $3.76 million. Fire department salaries up $4.2 million. And their sick time is up 59%. And you don't think that's a scam? It's just like the unused sick time wasn't a scam. You have a group of thieves in that department that are defrauding the taxpayer, but you don't do anything about it. Building inspection salaries up $368,000. Library up $650,000. Tourism up $150,000. Public Works Administration up $575,000. Highway salaries up $892,000. Recycling salaries up $253,000. Goes on and on and on. What are you doing for the taxpayer? Nothing. Zero. And also, if you recall, a couple meetings ago, I made an amicable gesture to Councilman McAllister and Councilman Howe to come to a nice friendly meeting. But Mr. Cushman and I gave a presentation based on fact and numbers, but you declined. Why? But you had some guts to come and answer questions. You missed a great opportunity to be educated on fact-based numbers. But you declined. And that doesn't surprise me. This council, this administration will go down as the rubber stamp council. You're one person asking legitimate financial business questions. The rest of you sit there. How do you conduct your own personal business this way? The city's going down the tubes. The guy in the corner office doesn't know. He can't act. You people can't. You can't see what's going on. Where's the money coming from? Just what you proposed on OPEB cost, $7.5 million a year, and in schools, if it goes $13.5 million a year, that's $21 million. We can raise 8.6. Where are you gonna get the money? We got a printing press downstairs. No one's thinking about the taxpayer. Now, I'll leave you with this. We're just looking at the tourism department window. There's a nice sign that says "Save Water." You should take that sign and put it in the vault. Because when this thing is done, that sign is going to be worth millions of dollars as the people are making the mass exodus from Warwick. You people have
Thank you. The next speaker is Ian.
Hi, my name is Ian Sheridan. I'm from Shady West Warwick, Ward 9. I've been a resident of Warwick since the 80s, and shamefully, I haven't really been involved in Warwick administration or council budgeting, which hopefully I can change going forward, probably to the chagrin of my poor councilman who I reach out to all the time. Anyway, I was sitting here the other night. Our mayor did a nice job making an initial presentation, and I was disappointed when the other department heads came to the counter and didn't make similar presentations. I expected to hear from them the pluses and minuses that they wanted, the successes and failures, and whatever goals they had. Instead, we got a few councilmen that asked a couple of questions, and had it was almost as though we didn't have a right to know what was being asked in this budget. It was like we were going to have to ferret out what it was that the department was asking for. And since we don't have access to any real nitty-gritty documents, that's like, it was, well, it's ours to know, it goes to anyone, whatever. I worked in a nonprofit for many years. I worked for a major municipality, and I worked for a Fortune 500 company. All of the time related to budgets and taxes. So I come from some background in this issue. I think that the sale of public assets is disgraceful to be included in the operating budget. I think no one listens or observes what's happened to Providence over the years. Mayor Smiley is just now recognizing all the damage that's done by the foolish inclusion of the sale of fixed assets over and over again, trying to balance the budget. It has to be done from the ground up. It needs to be done by starting out and saying to every department, reduce your budget. Find some ways to cut spending. Save a few dollars before you even start. The fire department is talking about a new rescue route and the reimbursements you were getting from Social Security. What I want to know is what is done to offset the cost of the fire that's going to the senior centers and the assisted living. I mean, I live across the street from actually just a lovely place. There are so many runs that go to that facility on a weekly basis that my dog doesn't even carry. The dog doesn't even bark. I mean, he gets, like I hear the rescue coming up the street and you know the engine's out. You don't even look out there because you know what it is. These people need to be charged something more. You could analyze my neighborhood and go about it. It's probably not 5 runs in our whole neighborhood over the last 5 years. You could get that run in a month next door. It needs to be something different. The finance director the other day said that wages, when Councilman was asking about benefits and wages. And I thought I heard her say, and it's been confirmed, that the salary of an employee is based on the scheduled wage, and then we add to that the longevity, and then we add to that their approved, their negotiated rates. But let me say, longevity is a perk. It's not a given base salary. So it should be the base salary, plus the,
You about 1 minute.
the schools, we don't need schools, what we need is, better education. Before we build a new school, we need to figure out a way to get more kids back. And the only way to get kids back, people back, is by increasing the education. There are too many people going out of schools and broken schools, only because the kids aren't being taught. It's simple, we need to just get down to the basics, get the school department back to basics, and do some grunt work, and not look at the hard. They need to look at the bottom line. Population's not increasing, the schools aren't increasing. We've only got 45% of the kids that are 5 years old. There's no big swell of school. We don't need new schools. We need somebody that's concentrated on providing service and good service and basic education to these kids. I've been voting for more years than some people in the council have been alive. And I would just once look forward to somebody that would say, we can reduce the budget by just 1%.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next speaker is Darlene.
My name is Darlene Echo. I live in Ward 7. I'm a lifelong resident of Warwick. I've been 57 years here in the city. Graduate of the Warwick Local Schools. I currently teach at Tolkien. I've been teaching for 33 years in Warwick, 35 years overall. President of the Warwick Teachers Union, homeowner, taxpayer, voter. I spoke the other night in favor of the school's budget and why everything that the superintendent and I was asking for is necessary. The previous speaker just talked about why we're not educating or they need to get kids to get the basic education they are. I have been educating for more than half of my life in the city. And I put my heart and soul into the work that I do, as to the approximately 900 people that I represent. And our district is moving forward. In a previous meeting, our administrators spoke to various initiatives. If you go to school committee meetings, you can see that test scores are going up. But there's more to an education than a test score. And that is why everything else that's in the budget is necessary. As far as new schools, come to Tolkien, I'll show you why we need new schools. It's disgraceful what we're putting our children through. We want kids to come, then we need to give them a proper place to go. Why are they going out? Because they can get better facilities and other systems that are building new schools. In addition to speaking about the schools, so I want to talk about the city. As I said, I've been here my whole life, and I will take living in Warwick over living in other parts of the city that have perhaps lower taxes. In our city, we have a professional fire department, we have a professional police department, we have a professional school department, and we have public works. We have garbage collection. If you want to pay no taxes or lower taxes, go to, for example, Charlestown. They pay very low taxes and they don't have garbage collection. Everybody has to pay for their own garbage pickup. They have a volunteer fire department. They're having trouble getting firefighters. So you pay for what you need. And I like living in Warwick. Other people might not, but I know that the budget is large because we're a large city. I sat here for almost the entire night the other night, and I sat through all the presentations. And I believe that the city council and the mayor are doing what they can to provide the proper living conditions for people in the city. And I would once again, though, just reiterate some of the points I made the other night about why we need the budget we have for the schools. Some of that budget we can't help. Mr. Howe brings up every meeting the unfunded mandates. He's absolutely correct. There's about $12 million that automatically goes out the door to charters and to pathways and to mayoral academies, and that's not because Warwick is so bad, they don't want to go here, it's because the other things are shiny and new, and they want to go there. The charters, if you see the advertisements on the television, the charters are advertising, I have only 5 kids in my class. Well, I'd love to have that too here in Warwick, but we can't. So, please consider, the budget obviously carefully, and thank you. And I mean, I pay taxes here too. My elderly mother pays taxes here. My family has a business here too. But I believe that as good citizens, we do have to fund our schools and our fire department and our police department and our public works, everything that we benefit from in this city. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Wayne.
Hi. I shouldn't, this is what happens. My name is Elaine Gamble. I'm the grandfather. This is going to be totally stream of consciousness because I just threw things together as opposed to the email I sent last week to my council. But I got hit in the 2018 reassessment. My house was increased in value by $52,700. Now I get hit again with an increase of $97,800 on my house. Did I mention that I've lived in this house for 52 years? Okay, so we take this increase, which amounted to, or will amount, if you would at least stick to the proposed tax rate of $14.76, will amount to a $467, I forget the cents, increase in my taxes, which to me qualifies for the $500 increase that was made about the mayor's increase in taxes. He's part of 21% of the city that's going to pay $5,500 more. 467 is pretty close to that 500. Vision, whatever, the company. In their letters to us say you can appeal your assessment, but quite frankly, because if you can get more than that assessed value, you're wasting your time. As I did waste my time in 2018 when I filed an appeal. All right. Mr. Cashman's letter in today's Beacon, I thought was for the most part pretty good, especially one section where he mentions something along the lines of and the senior discount has remained around $400 for years. I can testify to the fact that inflation has not hit the senior discount. It stays at $415.20 for as long as I've been a senior, which seems like a heck of a long time. And so there you go, that's a personal comment. One of my other comments, which, thank heaven, I have a certain person as my counsel, always comments on, is the retirement benefits, good God, I had my health insurance paid for. Even family. Stop and think about that. The only opposition, everybody at the council, it seems, rather pays lip service to the fight for, oh, we're going to do something about pension benefits. And then when push comes to shove, there's only one person on the council who fights for the residents of this city. And not just the residents of our world, but the residents of the whole city. When these things happen, these votes are taken, I'm reminded of Councilwoman Nancy, Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I think she represents South Carolina. She always says, no, I'm not going to vote for something. Always gives her the reasons, and then when it comes down to it, she uniquely acquiesces to whatever the leadership says. So I would ask you to stop and think about what's going on. I don't expect miracles, but good God, don't go higher than the proposed. I heard on the phone that they were all going to be 50 cents less than the proposed 14.76 per thousand. And some of us don't want to leave the house. I don't feel like I can afford it. I think I could be more crazy than what I am. So I wish you would go, but I somehow feel like I know something. But I do trust my counsel.
Thank you. We just need someone to turn the microphone off. There, we don't decide. You don't have to do it.
As I said, it's fun to see these little.
Okay, we're now moving on the agenda. We're now with the budget items. Number one is PCR 5823. Relative to transfers, supplemental appropriations, and emergency appropriations. So we had a public hearing on Monday, so Council now, I'm looking for a motion to move this within a second discussion. Move favorable action on PCR 58-23. Second by Councilman Foley. Is there any discussion on PCR 58-23 for members of the council? Councilman Smith.
First, I just want to ask a procedural question. At what point in the process do you wish for us to bring up potential amendments?
So, Mr. Walsh.
We are on the transfer resolution, which is just part of closing of the current year. If there's amendments, I'm going to take that as part of the next week, which is the budget.
Understood. Thank you. Councilman Lattiser.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to make sure that I understood this correctly the other night, that the transfer from the city contractual obligation of $400,000 was to move that money over to the salary line item of the fire department because the salaries are coming in over budget. I just want to be sure that I understood that correctly.
The $400,000, my name is Lynn Patrick, I'm the city treasurer. The $400,000 was budgeted for the passing of the fire contract in city obligation, the contractual obligation line. So just by ceremony, we should move over to the salary line. Otherwise, they will go over that budget.
Maybe it's fine. So the contractual or contingency, I think it's called contingency line item.
There is a contingency line, but that is not the line that is on the sheet first. It's called contractual obligation.
So the budget that we voted on last year
23.
for those salary line items in the fire department were not the actual numbers. What you're saying is, in addition to the salary line items, there is another line item that says city contractual obligation. Now, contractual obligation could be any department, right? It could be finance department, it could be DPW, et cetera. But you're suggesting, or you're saying that $400,000 was specifically earmarked as an additional salary item for the fire department?
The 23 budget had fire salaries budgeted with no increase, except for where we reserved money in contractual obligation.
And does that mean that their contract that was approved, when was that last contract approved? I forget. Last October or so, we had police and municipal, but I don't remember a contract being approved in 2022. I think perhaps it was 2021. Was the last contract we approved for fire department?
No, we did fire a few months ago.
It was an arbitration.
That's what 400,000 was for. We did this year. The municipal police, I mean, over a year ago together, I mean, it's separate fire.
And this 400,000 was earmarked specifically to transfer to fire salary.
It was reserved in the event that a contract was agreed on. So yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
To be clear, just for the record, for members of the public, I think that we in the council have a clear understanding how the budget works, but since there are members of the public here, members of the public listening down into it, like the fact that $400,000 would be transferred pursuant to this resolution, PCR 5823, that doesn't actually mean that people are getting paid $400,000 more by virtue of us passing this resolution, right?
No.
Right. So, something else that I noticed in the budget, referring back to the fiscal year 2023 budget, that is the fiscal year that's wrapping up. I saw that for Fire 2 salary, which is the bulk of the fire department salary, the budget was for $16,586,000 and change. And the fiscal year 23 projection was for significantly less at $15,540,000 and change. So about $1 million less projected than budgeted for. That's not to say that overall the fire department didn't exceed its overall budget because there was approximately $1.5 million over budget on the overtime. But what I'm getting at in this specific question is that the transfer of this $400,000, it would appear that the fire department would still be under budget relative to the fiscal year 23 proposed budget that was passed last year. Right?
I thought you were here.
Peter, just, say your name and title.
Peter Schaefer, finance director. I thought you were here 23 to 24. That was your first part of your question. Is that?
Part of the confusion, I didn't need to compare fiscal year 24 part I used for the word proposed. I meant to refer to the fiscal year 23 budget as passed this time last year compared to the fiscal year 23 projection that was included as the second to last column in our guidance.
You need to look at both direct pay and overtime, because they were very late on completing the movement and getting people on. So it ended up, regular pay was less than what was contemplated, and overtime, because they weren't able to put boots on right late in the year, so the overtime was higher. But the 400,000 was something the council approved in the budget for 23. I gave fiscal note when you considered it, and it was more than the final cost of the contract was more than 400,000. And I have it in front of me, something like 587,000. We had 400,000 reserve, and they had to deal with the remaining difference.
Thank you. I appreciate the clarification and the additional comments there. I certainly do understand that it's important for the public to also understand that there's, of course, the link between the overtime and salaries, because if fewer firefighters are working, then those hours have to be made up. So if the salaries end up being less than budgeted, then naturally you'd expect overtime to be more than what was budgeted. Thank you.
Any additional questions on PCR 58-20? Okay, a hearing on the protocol for favorable action on PCR 58-23. Yes.
Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
Mr. Deborah? Mr. Hall?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Thank you, motion passes. Second item this evening is PCR 57-23. Again, we had the public hearing on Monday. I'm looking for a motion. We'll get a second and we can have discussions. Councilman.
Mr. President, move favorable action on PCR 57-23.
Second by Councilman Fuller. So at this time, we can take any request for amendments on PCR 57-23. Councilman Rivers.
So this is my first, and then after this one, I would defer to my colleagues to see what other amendments that they propose before I propose any others. So this one would relate to transferring the amount of $1,544,964 from line item 3511. That is fire to overtime.
35, you say one more time.
35111. Thank you. So that is fire to overtime, which is currently proposed in the amount of $4,427,321. And so that amount of my proposal for the transfer of $1,544,964 would transfer that amount to line item 85174, which is the pensions for the Part1 pension system. So
We made motions, we need a second, and we can have discussion. Second by Councilman Madison, go ahead.
So first, the logic on why from that particular line, $35 the fire to overtime, is because when I take a look at the combination of fire to salary and fire to overtime, that amount in the fiscal year 24 proposed budget, which is before us, adds to a total of $23,008,625. Now, before the line item transfer of that $400,000, which is proposed before that, if you compare that amount, the $23 million combined for the fire to salary and fire to overtime, you'll find that the fiscal year 24 proposed budget amount is 15.2% greater than the fiscal year 23 projection, and 18.1% over the fiscal year 23 budget. It basically doesn't make sense to me that both the salaries and the overtime would be going up by such dramatic amounts. While we may have raises in the fire department, and we may have additional personnel in the fire department, having additional personnel does tend to reduce overtime. And the raises certainly do not account for approximately a 15% increase. So, by transferring $1,544,964, that would actually bring the combined fire to salary and fire to overtime to a rate of 7.5% increase over the total for the fiscal year 23 projections, and a full 10% over what was budgeted fiscal year 23 in the budget. So, I do understand that, of course, with any transfer, just as the city needs to run its vehicles, and if the price of gas goes up and ultimately exceeds the budget, we are not going to be taking city vehicles off of the road. We're going to make sure that there's gas in the tank. If the firefighters are out there working, then we're going to ensure that they get paid. Ultimately, with this budget, the way that the city budget works, no one's paycheck is going to be interrupted. So, if there is a shortfall, then just as so very often, we see the overtime budget being exceeded by well over $1 million, just as happens to be the case from this last year as well. Then, I want to make it clear on the record that, of course, our firefighters are going to be getting paid. Now, why I am transferring that precise amount into that line item of proposing to transfer that precise amount into that line item of 85.74 is because it is my understanding that that is the amount, $1,544,964, that would otherwise be included in that particular line item, if not for proposals to alter from our 40-year plan. We have been sticking with that 40-year plan for approximately 26 years now. And if we stick with it to pay those initially unfunded pensions from the fire one and police one systems that were initially set up, I believe, back in the 1970s and didn't begin to get funded until the 40-year plan was enacted about 26 years ago in the 1990s. Well, if we don't stick with that 40-year plan, we're not going to be done paying it off substantially in your fiscal year 2036. We're effectively going to be further mortgaging the city, its residents, with that obligation for decades further into the future, to the tune of $10 million and $15 million per year for at least a decade out into the future beyond fiscal year 2036. So I think that it's important for us to stick with the 40-year plan. At the same time, I really do think it's important for us to start seriously funding OPEB. I commend the administration for beginning to fund OPEB in recent years, and I would also love to commend the administration for finally coming up with a plan to fund both these massively underfunded pensions and to fund OPEB. However, I have noticed that the proposed plan to accomplish this long-term objective, which is a critically important objective for the city, to be able to fulfill those long-term obligations to city workers, firefighters, police officers who put in their time and service, were promised these benefits. We need to honor those commitments to the very best of our ability. We also, for a plan to be successful for funding long-term benefits, I think that the more successful plan would be to increase funding over the next 3 years, rather than decrease funding relative to what the 40-year plan would have provided. Unfortunately, the plan would actually contribute less money into those long-term benefits over the next 3 years than if they simply stay with the 40-year plan that's currently in effect. It would, of course, ultimately involve contributing much more money for decades, years and decades after these initial first 3 years. But I think that we should start strong with that early commitment. Let's leave the money in OPEB that's proposed for this fiscal year's funding of OPEB, and let's also stick with that 40-year plan so that come fiscal year 2036, which I believe would be getting $30 million or thereabouts, before it drops off in fiscal year 37 to a payment of near $2 million, and then in fiscal year 38, where no further funding is needed, the 40-year plan would have complete as to funding the firefighter and small pensions. And of course, OPEB would still need to be funded. I think it's important for us to keep up the momentum of funding these long-term contributions. And I think that this particular line item, given that it's a double-digit percentage increase when we consider both salaries and overtime, is the line item that it can be pulled from. And given that it all relates to the fire department, I feel that this is fair to help compensate our firefighters within that same type of funding without negatively affecting other departments. I yield for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Any questions or comments from members of the council? Council Adams.
Thank you, Mr. President. If I may, share a question to Councilman Briggs. I actually had an amendment that I proposed to 85-174, but differently. So my question is, that line item, 85-174, including benefits, pension, fire, it was reduced from $18,144,964 to, I should say, to $16 million. So it was reduced by $1,544,964. So why not make an amendment to just put that money back in?
That's a good question. In order to simply put that money back in, I believe that that would involve either implicitly increasing the tax rate or having a further amount of fund balance. that may be my approach may be the more appropriate approach, although I will say that given that the exercises we perform with the budget this evening are not necessarily going to affect what actually happens on the ground in terms of how firefighters get paid salary, get paid overtime, and things of that nature, then ultimately it is all coming out of the same place, it's all coming out of the general fund, which is a fair point.
Thank you.
I believe the finance director,
Two different issues. First of all, both things saw, and I thought Jason, the deputy chief, did a good job of saying, the main three of that relates to the safety grant. We're run all those costs, so the growth you saw there, that goes beyond the contractual increases, is, and if you look on page 59 of your budget, you'll see a revenue item of $1,297,000. That's the amount of safety grant that's going to support those positions. All right, so that's the first point. You know, the second point is going to, we went over this earlier, and we had the actuary. The actuary, the same firm that been with us, say, for 30 years, every year when I was, geez, the name, but, you know, they've given us great advice for 30 years. We now have these proposed grants. Locally administered. We never had to do the COLA thing that the state did, and everyone's so complaining about. He came up with what I thought was a wonderful plan. We've invested the money for fire and police fund, we've had good returns. We've now got 27 years into the 40 years. We don't need to keep running it the same way, otherwise we're gonna have $40 million 13 years from now, and not really. He's giving us an opportunity to smooth out the payment and transfer a small portion of it. The increase in fire and police one, we would be paying $1.6 million more than what's in this budget. $2.6 million for fire and police one, and we wouldn't put anything. We didn't have this plan. He gave us an opportunity. He's going to be able to sign off on this on our financial statements, and we're going to have a work which has been documented. And we'll have a more expansive explanation of all this. So I thought Joe did a great job when he was here in March. So that's one issue is we really don't have that money in the fire department. It relates to 1.3 million in the safety grant. There's a lot of questions about whether you want a one-time grant like that. I recognize I'm really concerned about it too. But nevertheless, that's where the difference is. And I think you gotta go back and look at the plan, we'll have more information before this comes up. I talked at the hearing about the lack of not having a plan. He's given us a plan, it's gonna save us money for the next few years. So I'm going to keep making the case for it, and you can sign off or you can't sign off. And Mayor and I go back and forth on it too, because there's some concerns about this, how strong the commitment is going in the future years. But we're going to get there and keep making the case.
Thank you, Director. I would just respectfully say that by the city, and I did make sure to review that plan closely, and I did ask questions eventually. I simply have hesitations about, I'll say that I'm certainly open to the concept of changing the ratio of where funds go, whether it's into the pensions or into OPEB, to benefit the exact same employees, of course. All city employees, long-term benefits. However, the method of doing that in a way that I believe would add up to approximately $6 million less in combined contributions to those long-term obligations over fiscal years 24, 25, and 26, relative to if we simply kept funding Warwick at that level of $250,000 per year for those 3 fiscal years, and sticking with the 40-year plan. I would prefer if the city was making that additional $6 million in contributions over the next 3 fiscal years. Thank you.
Sir, can you just identify yourself for the record?
Mayor Frank, President. Councilman, I just wanted to make it clear, although it's in the budget being designated towards the OPEB fund, that cannot be done until the city council changes the ordinance. Currently, the ordinance says it's passing on the pension fund. So, having to be pretty sure that we'll be taking that up in the coming months. Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions from members of the council on this whole hearing? Councilman Lattiser.
Thank you, Mr. President. Councilman Ricks, I completely concur with you. Completely disagree with any drawdown out of this account, particularly that $1,545,964. This is a plan that's been in place now for almost 30 years, and it's one of the plans that happens to be working successfully, and it is in very close proximity to reaching sunset. We, as Mr. Schaefer indicated, we heard from our actuaries, and they also indicated that we had not averaged out that benchmark of 6.9%. The auditors also indicated that the plan currently to date doesn't support 6.9% annual returns. They indicate a low rate of return, and I'm reading from my notes here because there's a lot involved with this. As I view this, by messing around with the plan that's been working quite successfully for 30 years to try and show up another plan that's not working at all, doesn't make any sense at all. If this money is pulled out of this plan now, and the trends continue, and we don't meet those benchmarks, what's going to happen is the taxpayer is going to end up having to foot the bill for the shortfall. Not for just one plan, which currently is working fine, but for another plan as well. And to me, that doesn't make any sense at all. Not at all. And I will be supporting your proposed amendment on that. And I am not in support at all of reducing 85,174.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from members of the council? Okay, hearing none, it's been moved favorable in a second, so a favorable vote is to support Councilman Ricks' this amendment. The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Johnson?
No.
Mr. Foley?
No.
Mr. Gephardt? Mr. Howard?
No.
Mr. Lattiser?
Yes.
Mr. McElroy?
No.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Mr. Stanley?
No.
Mr. Travis?
No.
2 yeas, 7 no, amendment fails.
Thank you, the amendment fails. Councilman Ricks, you still have the floor.
I will yield to my colleagues.
Okay. Are there any members of the council that have any amendments that they can propose at this time?
Yes, but I'm going to need Peter's help.
Okay, Councilman Samantha.
I'm going to make a motion first, Justin.
Yeah, you make a motion, we'll get a second, that you can discuss.
All right, so one motion to move that 1.8 unencumbered ARPA funds you spoke of yesterday, Monday, and subsequently with an email. I don't know what line item it is. I want to move $370,000 from there into line item 89-000 on page 56 of the school department.
The councilman has made a motion to move funds from the ARPA funds to the school department. And the second, and we can have a discussion. We have a second. Second by Councilman Riggs and Councilman Ford. Go ahead, Councilman Sanders.
So as an initial disclaimer, actually, I would prefer to propose more, but I want to see if there's even an appetite for this amount first. I don't want to waste anyone's time. I sent out a list of potential cuts based on the shortfall that the school department is currently slated to have. And you'll notice that the 370 is aligned with the 3 FTE math interventionists. The goal would be to make sure that those positions are not cut. For anyone who's watched school committee meetings, you know exactly why. They've been widely praised, multiple meetings, repeated. And those who watched the scores, our math scores, surprisingly went up at a time when people expected them to go down. And in no small part thanks to these interventionists. I don't want to lose them. I don't know anyone does, frankly. And considering that we're so big on making sure that we get bang for our buck, this is exactly what that is. They pay for themselves in spades as far as the results. And I don't want to lose them. The reason for the proposal from the ARPA funds is because they're not encumbered in any way as of now. It doesn't take away from a current project or proposed project. They're there for unforeseen or projects that have been proposed. And for those wondering how it's possible to borrow to pay for that line item, given that it's a recurring expense. There are other items within their budget that are eligible that are currently going to be paid for with normal funds. So they're able to shift funds accordingly to the ARPA funds, so this way ARPA eligible costs and the math interventions can fund, assuming we add funds. Bear in mind, this doesn't add to the maintenance of effort. Agreed to, it doesn't add taxes. And last time, ARPA funds were designated for the school department with the condition of, hey, they come back, if state aid goes up, we actually were able to recoup a significant amount for exactly that reason. Here, that same caveat will apply, and also, it's important to note, it's arguably more likely the state aid would go up than previously because there's some issues with the funding formula, and so they might have to raise aid for everybody in order to make it work. So, odds are state aid will go up, and thus we might get the funds back. So there's very little risk to the city to designate funds that otherwise are just going to sit there, not be used. There's a current, present need. We know that the school department does need more money, not just because of the 1.4 shortfall, whatever that precise number is, but also because we know there's actually additional shortfalls, such as with the teacher's contract yet to be negotiated. So there's not really a debate over do they need more money. I mean, obviously they do. At least here with the list they provided, we know things slated to be cut. We can target accordingly. And by using the ARPA funds, it's so little risk for us and only benefit. It's really, from my perspective, there's no reason not to. I'd be happy to talk about the other items on the list as well, if there's any appetite at all for it, because I have personal knowledge on a number of them, and then I have knowledge from the school department as well. I also know that members of the school department and members of the full committee are volunteered, so I'm sure they'd be willing to address questions if people have them as well.
Councilman, we just need to get a little more clarification on exactly identifying what you're looking at the administration way. So, the solicitor pointed out there's the fund that you mentioned, the schools, and then there's also a line item, $1 million budgeted for school capital. I believe the title of it was $1 million, so we just want to get the numbers correct.
It's actually probable that it should go there, because I'm guessing that 1 million is the current state of our funds. So then we would want to add this on to that. So I think
Okay, we'll get it from the administration, what would like to speak first.
So you want to tackle this, and this is one technical thing, which is, I thought it was unbelievably generous thing that the mayor wanted to do, which is a 4% increase in the school department. I mean, part of the state aid, part of this, and it was a struggle to get there, you would see this tax increase. But you may remember last year about this time, Councilman Lattiser had to do a 5 years for a resolution to do 5 years for a tax. I did it, I have to do it anyways, the state requires. I can't do it. And our assumptions on operating rate, part of the reason Councilman Lattiser did this was because he wanted to look at financing for the new high schools. Let me tell you, the school budget is 52% of the whole city budget. If the school budget increases the request was a 4.8% request, so we had to be 4.2%. And you continue on over 5 years, there's no money to go to new high schools. You have a population, we've seen the data, you're talking over the last 5 years, averaging 1% declines in students every year. I mean, that should be factored into your costs. It has to be what the system doesn't work. So that's my point. Long-term increase in the base, and this is not, I focus on the use of our budget proposal here, it's a one-time cost. Well, what's being proposed here is not a one-time cost, this is a good chunk of it. So those are my concerns, but this is really, I just assist the mayor. This is,
Mayor proposed.
Councilman Snap, I really admire your dedication to education. Anyone knows me since I shared that path. And if it's the council's question to use an additional out funds, we'll do that. I just want to tell you what will happen. Projects on capital this year, a lot of them are not going to get completed this year. The money will be in reserves because in case we need to complete these projects, because costs keep going up. Things you can't forecast that's happening. We have to look to get rid of some of the projects, some of them are very difficult. Restaurants, fire truck, police station, that's the kind of things we have to come from. We have, the skating rink, we've gone forward with that, we spent tens of thousands of dollars. We decided to take a matter of that, and the budget, we can move $5 million, which we are ability to that, really push it. There's not a lot of unessential things on here. I have to look at work projects, we have to reduce that, I have to redo it. We don't have much flexibility. A lot of the ARPA money we held in reserve. Some of these things we do with grant by the matching funds. You have to collect the money from that and from ARPA. There's no matching fund requirement on the playhouse. We get $750,000 grant. I would say just preserve the outside and $1 million. That's why we kept it reserved. But as I said, it's a very balanced budget, but I guess it's an incredible process.
So I need a point of information from Peter then, because I'm hearing things that seemingly conflict, but I just not understanding it correctly.
sorry, I was looking for some data.
So I'm confused as far as I was told that the 1.8 remaining funds for are unencumbered anyway.
That's correct. That's correct.
All right, so even
I can for it by you, like 1.8. There are also rated eggs more streets too, so.
all right, so there's one, it's gonna be potentially used for, if there's cost overruns and whatnot, that makes perfect sense.
That's why we have this.
So I don't feel that my motion is any less warranted, including the source of the funds, because I definitely do not wish to add to the MOE. I do not wish to increase taxes more than they already need to be. And because that money is set aside for what it is, from my perspective, ideal, because cost overruns, I mean, we have cost overruns, taking the point of together, but taking only 370 for 1.8 would be plenty for contingencies. And if it's not plenty, then 1.8 wasn't close to enough anyway. So I don't really feel that that's a negative from that perspective.
Councilwoman Travis.
Thank you. I totally disagree with taking money from the ARPA funds for the schools. And I think each one of you should think about your constituents in each of your wards. Any one of us will have an emergency. That money is put aside for emergencies or anything we might need. Is it too loud?
Yeah, you're really loud. Tim's really loud. Sounds loud.
But I think each one of us have to think about it. I know everybody, all the schools, yes, the schools have to watch when we come ahead of time. You each got to think about what you need with your constituents in your wards. Because there is no need of us to take money from the ARPA fund that's put aside for any one of those cases. That 370, whatever, could be the one that you need.
Thank you, Mr. President. I totally concur with Councilwoman Travis. And I also concur with Mr. Schaefer on this item. What concerns me is the fact that we keep talking about increasing salaries, increasing benefits, adding on to the cost of doing business, increasing the cost of government. It's interesting to me that we always have this money available to not only put out contractual salary increases, but beyond that. We always have the money to take care of out of control overtime costs. I have not heard one comment regarding all of the increases that we're talking about to do anything with increasing the exemptions that we have for the seniors, for the veterans, for the disabled veterans. It's a whole list. There's about maybe 50 or so exemptions. I don't ever remember increasing those exemptions. When is there going to be enough money to do that? Councilman Briggs has a committee that he's formed to address that. And the answer is always the same. If you're going to increase that, you've got to find the money somewhere. It's time to find the money for something other than runaway costs of government, runaway costs of overtime. And with respect to the school department, the cost of operating the school department has continued to increase year after year after year. We've been listening to the same thing can we reduce costs? How can we reduce administration? How can we operate more efficiently? We don't hear that. As a matter of fact, we can't get a straight answer to how many students we have in the school system, which I asked Monday night. How many kids do we have in the school? I'm sorry, Councilwoman Travis asked the question. And the answer was about 8,700. Well, as you know, I challenged it, and I challenge it every year, because every year the numbers are all over the place. Well, the report that I received yesterday from the superintendent of schools is that the student population is 8,005. 700 student difference, using round numbers. Multiply that times $23,000 per student is what taxpayers in this city pay. $23,000 per student. That comes up to almost $16 million in difference between 8,700 students and 8,000. There is something seriously wrong with the academic spending that has been going on in the city, not just this year or last year, but for years. And we are not grabbing on to the reins and pulling back on it. And saying that it's time to stop working within the means. This isn't something that you can just take out a loan and pay for and pay for and pay for and do other things. What about the taxpayers? What about our senior citizens who don't have the luxury of COLA increases, don't have the luxury of lifetime free health care? Don't get automatic assistance from anyone. What about them? What about our businesses that are upside down because of COVID? What about the fact that we just changed the formulas on how we're going to apply those taxes to the businesses? We've lost how many businesses as a result of COVID? What about that? It's nice to sit back and say, thank you, I deserve this, I want this. We don't want this. We don't want to live in mega homes. We don't want to drive around in Mercedes. But it doesn't happen. You have to live within your means. So do the senior citizens in this city. And there's a lot of them. So do the veterans, so do the disabled veterans. They have to live within their means. But yet they're expected to continue to pay the bills for these out of control costs. I will not be supporting anything like this, and I will have further amendments that I can make when the appropriate time comes. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I'll go back to Councilman Sinaki, and I just want to clear up exactly the language on which ones, which departments. So I'll start with that.
Councilman, I just wanted to clarify, I know you noted 89000 as the designation originally, the intent instead to shift within the capital budget, the unencumbered, from the unencumbered, 370,000 and shift it to the school department's upper line. That is school technology and capital currently proposed at $1 million.
Yes, as long as we're talking about the unencumbered ARPA funds. And to the council's point, and just as a general edification, be aware of the lack thereof of math interventionist means. They do serve a purpose. They help prevent students from falling behind in the first place. You know, a lot of things that draw us kids to districts, their scores, when they're actually performing. If they go down, the district is less attractive, and kids go elsewhere. They go up, your district now looks better. Pretty basic stuff. Our math scores went up, in no small part because of interventions. So just imagine what happens if you take them away. And this is like kind of a direct benefit to the city for them to be. It's not just a throw money at something I call it a day, it's something intangible. It's no, this gives an effect that has a value to it that benefits us all.
Furthermore, when kids fall behind enough, you have other things going on, like the fact they either stay back or they have to get special education assistance, because now they're so far behind, that's a huge problem. And that's what costs a lot of money, not a small amount. And now you're talking about basically remediation at best. So now that kid probably, solid chance for the rest of the time in the school system is going to have a harder go of it, and therefore their drain on resources will be larger as well. That's facts. That's how it works out. So just keep in mind the tangible effects of roles like these interventions. It's not just another person doing a job and calling it a day. No, this matters for a host of items and outcomes, and ultimately money that will have to be spent elsewhere.
Just a housekeeping item, Councilman Foley, Rex, concurrently seconding of that clarification of the amendment.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Foley.
Is there anyone from the school administration to answer questions tonight?
We can invite the superintendent up, but that would be it. We're not going to have, we can't open it up to elected officials or other people. So if the superintendent wants to answer questions, you can, but that would be done.
I'll direct the question to the mayor.
And it only needs to be coming in there.
As a point of order, we can suspend the rules to allow for other individuals to speak. Throwing it out there.
Do you have a question on what you're
I'll hold for now. I'm good, thank you.
Councilman Rex.
A few quick items. So first, I would like to specifically thank Councilman Sinapi for doing his due diligence on this. I would also like to thank the superintendent, the school administration, and everyone who worked to prepare this list for us. A total of 12 items accounting for that grand total of $1.4 million exactly where those items would go in the event that the city council restored part or all of that funding. And along those lines, I think it's important for members of the public to hear that the school department did not have to do this. They did not have to prepare this specific list. The charter, their obligation is basically to present their proposed budget, ask us for money, and then do with it what they will. However, that is not the best practice of good government. In recent years, we've had much better communication between the city council and the school department than just a few years ago, where a few years ago, for quite a few years, it always felt like the city council was playing the game of, okay, where do they hide the money this time? Because we could always seem to find where there was money hidden somewhere or other in the school budget. And lo and behold, at the end of every single fiscal year, we would have someone come up to us from the school department and say, great news, look at the wonderful, huge surplus we ran through last year, as if it was an act of genius. No, it wasn't. It was a matter of there was money being hidden in that budget, and that's why we have seen those kinds of surpluses. Now, in great contrast to before, what we're seeing is the school committee and school department showing a great deal of transparency here with us and working with us as partners. And I would also like to make sure to specifically thank the administration as well for putting in a great amount of money into its proposed budget. We've seen administrations in the past that have just attempted to level fund the schools. And then when the city council tried to sort things out, that is absolutely not what happened this year. We are seeing a lot of effort from the mayor and the administration as well, to come up with these millions of dollars to fund these essential programs at the school department. And now, we're having a good, transparent discussion of these very specific items that the school committee and school department have told us that if we add this money into budget, then this is what they are going to do with it. It's good government. It's a far cry from what we were experiencing just a few years ago, but I think it's important for us to take a moment to appreciate where we are now compared to where we were before. So, to get to the point more specifically on this particular amendment, I absolutely support this amendment. I think that the school department has been transparent with us on where this money will go. This isn't some sort of threat that we've seen in years prior, where the school department puts up school sports on the chopping block. And we all know in the back of our minds that school sports aren't actually going to be cut. This is just the high priority that's being put up publicly, when in reality, other things there were other ways to get this done. Here, we know we can have confidence that there aren't other priorities that the school department or school committee can cut from the budget and still have these free full-time math interventionists who are adding great value and services that will go a long way towards improving the education of so many students, improving test scores. And as Councilman Snapper pointed out, once students start to fall behind in math, it is so hard for them to catch up. So I'm absolutely going to be supporting Councilman Snapper's amendment. I'm not pretending that this is an easy decision based on us having such limited funds and us looking at over a $7 million drawdown from the fund balance. But I think that having these three full-time non-interventions needs to be a priority. Thank you for your time.
Any additional questions or comments from members of the council? Have we got a chance to speak yet? Councilman Hahn?
Thank you, Mr. President. Very briefly, though I enjoy and I appreciate what Councilman Snappi has proposed, I cannot support this amendment for the simple fact of, I think that the communication, going on what Councilman Rick said, the communication and transparency has been very open, that's between the administration of the council and the school department. I will say as a math teacher, I feel I have to say this. If a district, and this is generalization, this is not an accusation to the superintendent of the department, but if we know that we have something, if we're saying if we're cleaning this money into math interventionalists, and knowing that that is the most rated, scaled subject, that is the most scrutinized subject in our schools, why on earth would that be the first ones that we consider if we don't get this money? So I'm very comfortable with the amount of communication between the administration and departments, and I respectfully say I cannot support this amendment.
Any additional questions from members who haven't had a chance to speak yet? Councilman Snapper?
So this is just to add on to what Councilman Rick said. For those who don't know, there's something called the CBB that the school committee has, or school department has out for that budget. But we saw basically the overview of the CBB as like the line from every single department, just similar to our second, I guess probably more detail. For those who remember back in the day, I used to have to fight to even look at the CBB, and to get it distributed, it was like an act of Congress. This school department had the CBB up for public consumption pretty much from the get-go as part of the budget process. So I'm like, prior history of high ball, they were like, no, here's the ball, here's 31 9, go to town. So
It's definitely a new era when it comes to transparency. So for sure, we're moving in the right direction. Mayor Council President, I just want to, Mr. Ricks and Councilman Sir, I'm sorry, Councilman Ricks, they're absolutely correct. This is not a padded budget. We don't have a school big, entity knowledge of school big budgets. And they came to me, they were open and honest, there's a lot of dialogue. I would love to give them a lot more money than I could. They have to strike a balance between both sides of the government. And the ARPA funds, like I said, we have many pieces to, we have been doing a long time. We have probably once in a lifetime opportunity to get ahead of it. And as I said, it's a perfect council. I try to strike a balance with the school money does not deserve to be accused of having a padded budget. I know they've come up, we had a lot of discussion about it. They have been very open, honest, and transparent with this. Councilman Snappi, they're always very. Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments on the amendments? Okay, my quick comments are, again, I thank Councilman Snappi on his great work on this and doing that. However, I really agree with finance and some of the other colleagues that spoke, moving these funds forward to that. I do also think it's important that Mr. Howe said that the 370, if they don't get this additional, doesn't mean they have to cut those three positions. And I'm sure we could all work to find a way within that budget. Glad someone else heard that, I thought I was just in my ears. With that said, the clerk will call the roll on the Snappi amendment, favorable action, yes vote is for the amendment, no vote is against the amendment.
Mr. McAllister?
No.
Mr. Foley?
No.
Mr. Gephardt?
Yes.
Mr. Howe?
No.
Mr. Latson?
No.
Mr. McElroy?
Yes.
Mr. Ricks?
Yes.
Mr. Snappi?
Yes.
Ms. Travis?
No.
4 yes, 5 no, motion fails.
The amendment is, Councilman Sinata. So I want to add in the revenue section, line item 47-949, page 61, revenue of $15,000. That is the senior center fees. Based on my understanding is that should be there, it's expected to be received, so we should add it. And then I have a motion subsequent to this, in relation to one thing at a time. Okay, Councilman, can you identify that line item one more time for us? Absolutely. The line item 47-949, senior center fees, to put in 15,000 revenue, it's not an expense. That's on page 61. Yes. I'll get someone from the administration to address that.
We talked about this a little bit yesterday. Most of the smaller departmental revenues, we depend upon what the department sends us. And from my looking at it, it's an oversight on their part. So basically, we underestimated our revenues by 15,000. It's not material. I don't think there's a reason for it. Absolutely, there is charging revenues. We're going to end up more like what's in the general fund. We're going to end up with $3,000 more than what we estimated. I don't really think it's material enough to make a change if it was $1.5 million that we forgot. It would be, makes sense. I would just say they're going to continue charging fees for these things. We're going to collect money. We're going to have a little more money than what we estimated in this budget. I just don't think it meets the materiality threshold. That's fine.
Normally I would agree, and I had no intention of bringing up, well, I say normally I would agree, that's not necessarily true. I had no intention of making this motion unless and until what happened in my request for additional aid to school department favor. Because I is 15,000 the budget, which makes us have an extra 15,000 free for expenditure, which I'm going to ask to be spent on the school department.
Yeah, so let's get a motion a second, and then kind of skip that part, so. What is your motion, we'll get a second.
So my understanding is, correct me if I'm wrong, so there was that I have to first add the revenue line and then a subsequent motion add the expenditure, but you can do a bit of that.
You have the ability to make a motion that is either balanced or in one out of balance, and I would have an impact on the ultimate sum here. What I would ask is put the entirety of whichever motion is in play, explain that these specific accounts and the amounts that we're looking for, and we need to see if there's a second.
Understood, that I would prefer to go once, so just to reiterate, it would be adding 15,000 revenue to line item 47,949 on page 641, which is the senior center fees, and then would in turn add to line 89-000, school department, on page 56, be adding 15,000. So this would be a balanced motion in the revenue stream added and the expenditure stream added of the same number.
Hey, do we have a second to that motion? Second by Councilor Harris. Go ahead, Councilor Sen.
So in addition to correcting the budget on something that should be there, this has the added bonus of putting some money towards the school department, given what is there, looking at a rather large shortfall in additional elements that obviously presented. There's also a reminder of the teacher's contract that needs to be negotiated, which will add further shortfall undoubtedly. And I don't see a need to reiterate all my prior arguments over here. I waste everyone's time, so that's the motion.
Okay, Councilor Harris.
While I want to be careful not to express a specific intent here to try to bind the school department unnecessarily, I'll just throw out there that $15,000 could make a material difference. Some items on the school department list, that listed 12 items, specifically looking at the lowest cost item number 4, a $20,000 request for new robotics equipment as their equipment is, it's stated here, nearly 10 years old and well past its useful life. And there's a further explanation here. I'll just read briefly for the public. Quote, if we do not replace this equipment, this will be problematic for our robotics program pathway at Tokyo. Right now, this feeder program helps the robotics 1, 2, and advanced robotics for competition classes, which have won some awards. If we do not replace this equipment, students will be unable to learn about robotics and related STEM pathways. The course will be more of a period of action since there will be no functional robotics equipment for students to use in class. Quote, so, although $15,000 might not sound like a lot, looking at that one item, that could go a long way towards satisfying that particular need, which could ultimately be saving the city and school departments a lot of money if this is making a difference when it comes to those pathways programs. We lose a lot of money by pathways programs luring our students out of Warwick schools and into other school systems. This pathways program is bringing students from other school systems into Warwick, generating money. So, for those reasons, even though it's quote unquote only $15,000, there's a purpose to this, and I will support this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And just for clarification, as you know, any additional funds, it's not earmarked, it will still be up to the discretion of the school.
Absolutely.
Councilman Snappy,
And just like another clarification on these senior center fees, you're not raising fees on seniors, this is revenue, this is stuff that they purchase, just like that.
Yeah, so, this was discussed briefly, I think, on Monday night, where this is standard thing they do every year, and in fact, you can see that prior years was more often than not, either 50,000 or more, except for, actually, no, yeah, because year-to-date versus projected. So, this is standard they charge, and I believe the explanation was charged, and then basically make sure that the classes they pay for, something along those lines. We're not proposing here fees that would otherwise not be due. This is happening regardless of whether or not we put it in the budget here. And what I was going to add was that it's important to know that as far as the items on this list, because while it's not incorrect to say, well, we don't have to cut the interventionist first, or we don't have to cut the robotics first, it's important to know, it doesn't take a mathematician to know that some of the things on this list would get asked for funding. So, given that it forces someone to take them down, I'm going to do so by improving some of these. For instance, 2 FTE school and safety assistant officers for high schools. This is something they currently have. For those who don't know, these are very important, critical for the safety and operation of the school. And I can say that based on when those positions don't exist. Son attends Wyndham. They have a constant nightmare. We can ask administration, teachers, students. It's awful when it comes to dealing with the bathrooms, the behavior of kids, the teacher. This is not enough for them. And frankly, it's not their job. There's no reason teachers should have to be controlling the bathrooms. So to take those away from the high school would be, as you can imagine, problematic. Interventionists, some of these are going to be able to said, stay with their supplies, they speak for themselves. The new robotics equipment, again, somehow it's 10 women, and I was surprised when he took robotics, and I wasn't excited. I thought we need to be taking something called robotics. Obviously excited, it seems like a no-brainer. And I double checked with him, and it turns out this teacher is amazing. The equipment sucked. Couldn't really do much of anything, and it being boring from that perspective. And even if you could tell, wow, my teacher's really good, it's kind of getting skills a waste. A 14-year-old can tell that it's not a good sign. The next edition is the athletic trainers for interscholastic sports. So this is, he actually came from one of the universities, came and spoke at the budget meetings. And for those who don't know, at least it might be more obvious back to when we went to school, this environment. You got concussed, probably concussed, nobody knew, you didn't know, nobody pulled you out, you kept playing. I know I got at least a couple of whacks in the head, and at least one that should not have been playing, but nobody knew that. These people are pretty important. I've met individuals whose kids' lives were ruined because they played sports, they got concussed, nobody knew better, and they happen to be one of the unlucky ones. This also getting injured all the time. Doesn't usually lead to something. For some adults, it ruins their lives when it's this kind of injury. And to prevent that is so critical, not to mention preventing injuries in general. And membership more attractive to families as far as why go to that school system. Oh, that school actually cares about my kid when it comes to sports. Because it's been put out to us countless times. Often we lose kids to what they should be able to treat sports. They have things we don't have, like scholastic, athletic trainers, and scholastic sports. Pretty clear cut. That school can say we have it, or it doesn't, for what reason, but a parent had to not at that point if their kid is passionate about sports. It's a no-brainer. The FTE custodians speak for themselves. We shouldn't have to explain the role of custodians. It's pivotal to keeping our schools up and running. Without them, they would not be able to function for very long. So I don't think it's really a tough call as far as whether or not they need more money. I think it's clear that we can and should that, and I think we have the opportunity to do so. And as noted, this is a balanced motion that takes away from nothing as it stands now.
Thank you. Councilor Madison.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not going to be able to support this amendment either. I don't think that it's up to the city council to project or assume or insinuate revenue from any department. We have no control on what revenue is going to be generated, how they're going to be generated, what they're going to do to increase that revenue. And I think those line items on those particular matters, I think it's appropriate that they be lined out, because that would be no more than a projection, an anticipation, yes, of what the revenue would be. And the other reason that I'm not going to be supporting this, actually a couple of reasons. Council President, you mentioned one that I know you've mentioned numerous times over the years, is once we move money, we have no control of the school department, can use it for whatever purpose that they want. But what I find particularly troubling with this is what is being proposed is to add a $15,000 assumed or speculative revenue line item to the budget that doesn't exist now. You have no idea what that revenue is going to be. And then to switch it over into the school department, I disagree with adding revenue monies that you have no clue what they're going to be to increase another line item such as 89-000. And to me, that's a mistake place. We don't have anything to do with the revenue. That will be determined at the end of the year based upon the performance of that individual department or entity. That's kind of like how it works in private business sector. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments from individuals who have a chance to speak yet? Councilman Sinata.
I was just going to point out, we do have an idea of what the amount would be based on the prior years, and we're going to call it.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded, so again, this will be a $15,000 transfer from the senior center fees to the capital budget for the school, general schools. Okay, that is the motion. A yes vote is to support the snap amendment, and no vote is against the amendment. Clerk will call the roll. Yes.
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 No.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Thank you. The amendment passes. Councilman Sinata.
So I have a point of inquiry for Peter. He had said, and I don't know if this is my interpretation or if he actually meant to imply this, that that line item was an example of an inconsequential revenue source, and didn't even matter if it was there. Now it seemed to suggest to me that there were other ones that might also not be in the budget, so I'd like to ask for confirmation of whether or not there are in fact other revenue sources that are not in the budget, because if so, potentially why not making another motion.
That's the only one that was caught in the hearings Monday. And I was estimating here. I told you we were aggressive this year because we were not aggressive enough the last 2 years. That's part of the reason we had significant surplus. I'm going to tell you that the revenues are going to come in. You're going to see an audit report 18 months from now. It was exactly as we estimated. That was clearly an error either by the department or us, which was not being mentioned. I know we did not identify during the public hearings, and I know no other oversights that we had in the budget.
I appreciate the clarification that you gave.
So that's it for me for the moment then. Okay, any other amendments that would like to be made at this time for members of the council? Councilman McIntyre. Thank you, Council President. I'll make a simple one. This is budget code 35111, firefighter 2 overtime. Given the increase in staffing, the CARES grants, the additional personnel coming on, and the testimony we've heard here previously, that the added class and the added members should reduce overtime overall. I am proposing to reduce line 35111 by 12.5%, and to credit the account 1000360 fund drawdown by the same amount. The dollar amount is $553,991.
It's a motion, we need a second round of discussion, second by Councilor Hudson. Go ahead, Councilor.
As I briefly introduced, we've heard the last several budgets that the increase in staffing should help mitigate overtime. The budget does not reflect that. The overtime stays pretty in line with where we're projected for this fiscal year. I'm not proposing to reallocate spending those monies, so if we got it in mind, they're there. However, I do not support leaving that account fully funded, given that we've been provided some guidance that should reduce based on the other investments we've made. So that's all.
Questions or comments from members of the council? Councilor Hudson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I concur with the intent of Councilman Gabbard, those who come from my amendments. Where we differ is on the amount. So historically, regardless of how many firefighters we increase in the fire department, regardless of giving 8 floaters beyond the required capacity, they never control the overtime. The overtime has just been a one-way item in the fire department for years. Before I got on the council, I remember conversations between council members and the chief of the fire department that if we give you 8 floaters and we do this, we will hold the overtime down. The answer was yes, and the result was no. There are going to be the largest complement of firefighters, I think, in the history of the city, certainly in my 11 years on this council, to 236. We talk about bringing in rescues. You all know I'm in support of rescues. But also keep in mind, it was testified to the other evening that as we add rescues, we add more bodies because of the manning. The budget sits with the monies from Senator Reed to fund 20 of the additional firefighters. But like any floaters, once that money is gone, the taxpayers own the bill. This bill just continues to climb and climb and climb. Continues. I would, and I can either do an amendment to this or do my own amendment, but right now, I would propose, based upon the monies that we're talking about, and based upon more firefighters than we've ever had in the fire department, to my knowledge, to reduce the line item of 35,111 by $2.3 million. Use $1 million of that money to reduce the drawdown on rainy day account.
Councilman, we're just gonna stick with Councilman Gephardt, we can do one individually, so if you want to make it different, just so we don't get lost here, so we're just gonna stick with the amendment that was moved and seconded. And then, you know, you had an opportunity to make additional amendments as well, just want to keep it all the same. Is there, someone from the administration that would like to speak on this proposed amendment?
Yes, Council President, I would recommend against this. This is not a fire department, that's for the chief. I want to clarify a couple of things about the safety grant personnel when it was 20. We're not obligated to keep them. We actually sent an MOU with the, it's not, we did kind of contract. The understanding that the use traditional, that's being here. The 20 additional men coming on board can't be used as plan overtime. We can't do that. Also, we're not obligated to pay them overtime with the third man in trucks. That's not part of our argument. So we have 20 people coming on, but that's not going to reduce the cost of overtime. We're not obligated to keep them after the grant. So we won't be hiring people in the next few years out of this class. Also, the first time in 5 years, last year we hired 5 firefighters. We had a full complement of 10 minutes. Because then we got 90 retirements in 2 months. There's another problem called the informed me that he's accepted 4 of our firefighters that aren't what they are yet. That's our transfers. That's happening in the season now. So our complement of hiring is going to go up and down. It's probably going to go down. So if we put the overtime budget back into the fund balance, and we take an act of this council to put that money back into the budget to use for overtime. And then there could be a chance to go forward, and we're already at, we wouldn't have shifts, which is just public safety disaster, as well as having legal issues.
Thank you, Mayor. Any questions or comments from members of the council? I'll comment. I think one of my first years on the council, I went with an amendment like this to cut the overtime for the fire budget and to move it into the general fund or maybe to pay it or something like that we made a commitment. Unfortunately, the fire department didn't do it anyways. They moved through it because of the things that the mayor was talking about. They had minimum requirements. People retired, people got hurt, and the overtime went up. I mean, the overtime went up anyways, and it was up a lot more than budgeted because the fire chief at the time said, you know, I'll put it in this budget because this is a realistic number. So we got back that number, and then so it looked like it was way over because it wasn't really a budget number that they could stick to, unfortunately. And a lot of that is not under control. Again, minimum and we all know the reasons. So that's my concern on this. Is I'd like to have a budget that is, I understand this is a moving document, and you know, we're never going to know exactly what each line item is going to be in the year. I'd like to have something that is as accurate as close as possible to prediction. We know that whether we touch the fire overtime or not, what that number is, they're going to need overtime. So we just want to have an accurate account. And, you know, speaking with the administration, they work with the fire department, they're looking at past history, they're looking at different trends. And this was the number that they came in with, and spoken to the mayor about the fire overtime many times. He has the same frustrations as the rest of us. So that's my concern about this, is that it's a great idea, but is it practical in the end if fire overtime is going to come one way or the other? So that's my thoughts on that. The council matters, so that's it.
Thank you, Mr. President. with all due respect to Mayor Cozy, over the years, we've heard the same comments that we're going to receive such a personnel, receive grants, but we don't have to keep them. And this goes back to administrations. When I sat here with the budget hearings and listened to that position as well, that is true. You don't have to keep them. But in reality, we have kept them. Not only have we kept the additional staffing, we've increased it to the highest level it's ever been. And there is no way that I'm going to agree with the argument that having these extra people, extra firefighters, with proper management of time, won't reduce the overtime. I cannot grasp how we can have all of these additional people and continue to have higher and higher overtime. I'm fairly familiar with salaries and overtime, certainly not to the degree of the size of this budget, but in my own world, I fully understand, I'm fully cognizant of how that works. So, in Councilman Geddes' motion, while I think the amount should be increased, I will be supporting his amendment, and I will be supporting using it to reduce the drawdown on the rainy day fund. Somewhere along the line, management has to take control across our control. Thank you.
Yes, I just wanted to make it clear, I have no intention of keeping increasing our complement in 3 years. It's going to be up to 228, we'll be back down to 204 plus floaters. That's why I would not accept the grant until I was able to negotiate that with the union. Have a signed agreement, states that will not keep you, replace them through attrition, replace firefighters through attrition, and that's where those firefighters will go at the end of 3 years. And also, Council is a little off topic, I don't really put it, but Director Carlucci can fix the sound system. He said you can take a 5-minute recess, if you get complaints from people, or the audio on YouTube. Okay, we'll finish this and then I'll have that. Just a couple of seconds. Let's finish this and then we can take a break. Any other questions? Let's go again. Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I say I'm just also bound to oppose this amendment for the simple fact. I'm going to generalize some statements, or I'm going to generalize some of the comments and some of the tones that have been said. Though I agree with what Councilman Madison said, he's absolutely right about the history of the fire department. There was a lot of overtime. I remember sitting in this chamber at one point. We were told, oh, if you put the overtime budget, we're going to fire firefighters, send them shockwave through the hall. And then it was clarified by the then administration, where it was our first budget hearing, if you remember, Mr. President. It was clarified that no, they would be fired, it would be through attrition. It was. And then we went below our complement. And it seems like we always seem to go below our complement. I know this discussion happened 2 years ago after COVID, and there were strong regulations in that department. Well, as many departments in many professions was required to still show up at work and walk into areas while the rest of the country was shut down, and yet the overtime went up. And because you have people covering and covering for people who tested positive for COVID. This is something where I feel I have to say, because I know for a fact that Chief McMichael goes over that budget all the time. As the finance chair, we sit down quite a bit. He goes over that budget quite often. And I can also say Chief Obenauer is meticulous about the numbers. And there are things like in education, we talked about unfunded mandates and such, that are uncontrollable by the fire department. They cannot be controlled. Personnel retirements, personnel time, personal time, the personnel illnesses, the personnel, whether it be injuries or otherwise. We have to still fill those shifts, put bodies on the trucks, put the personnel in the rescues. They have to still get to where they have to go. And if that means calling back people for mandatory overtime, and that's what it is, offering the overtime, that's what it is. And if you remember, close with this as president to my colleagues, the firefighters also during COVID, they had mandatory overtime. And that was a little sick, that wasn't left, that wasn't discussed too much when people criticized that. There were certain members made absorbent amount of money, that they were mandatorily overtime to that, to meet the minimal mandated requirements. So I cannot support this because I do know that Chief McMichael and Deputy Chief O'Connor, or I'm sorry, Chief O'Connor have gone over these numbers again and again and again, and they are getting their best averages. Thank you.
Councilman Foley.
I'm going to make this quick. I like Councilman Howell, who will be supporting this amendment. I've had numerous discussions. I'm on the finance committee, and I would call Chief, or I would call department heads and ask before the meetings about numbers. And I had a lengthy conversation with the chief about overtime. I am one of the biggest supporters of the Warwick Fire Department and any fire department for numerous reasons that I've already mentioned. But I kept asking, I said, Chief, you can't keep taking the hit. What's going on with the overtime? And he said in the past, I'm not saying that this administration, they were told not to look at actual numbers for overtime. This time he did. He used what was the historical data, sick time, retirements, how many retirements can you plan for and unplanned for. So to me, this is a realistic number for overtime. For us to not say, well, that's nice, but we think it's going to be less. When you're discounting the experts, the people in the field, in the classroom, we talk about unfunded mandates, that they don't listen to the teachers in the classroom. I'm listening to the chief. And my last point is this, I'm a grandpa daycare for a firefighter. I can't tell you how many times I get a phone call at this time of night saying, Dad, can you pick up the girls and bring them to school? Because I got hurt over. That he doesn't find out till 6:30, 7 o'clock at night that he has to stay an extra shift. He's lucky. He has me and my wife. A lot of firefighters don't have that benefit. And therefore, you have these outrageous overtime because guys know, sadly, well, if I work today and I get held over tomorrow, I got a problem while my kids going to school. So all this gets added into this. I have personal experience, and for that reason, I will not be supporting this.
Any questions or comments from anyone who has had a chance to speak yet? Councilman Lance.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, what I think there is a direct correlation between the overtime costs and the sick time costs. I think there's a direct correlation to that. And the example that Councilman Foley just mentioned, I think is the result of someone calling in sick and someone having to work another shift. Typically, that's what happens. When someone calls out sick, someone else has got to fill it in. And we know that based upon the numbers in these documents, that the majority of the departments, as you clearly state, have had a reduction in sick time. But yet, in the fire department, it has gone up significantly. Another thing I want to reflect back on Monday evening I asked the deputy chief about the sick time. And he said that sick time is also the result of long-term illness, non-work-related, etc. There's separate line items in the budget for that. The question I asked about was sick leave. There's a separate line item there for long-term illness. So based upon my experiences over the years, I know for certain that there is a direct correlation between sick time, people who are calling out sick, and overtime in order to get the job done. This is why we've heard the conversation numerous times over the years that, well, you can, bring in more staff, and if you bring in more staff, that's going to reduce the overtime. You have the argument as well, that sometimes, and I stress sometimes, you are better off to pay overtime than bring in a new hire. The new hire isn't needed on a full-time, year-round basis. That's not the case here. I think we have a situation that needs to be reviewed with regards to those two issues, overtime and sick time, because I think that they're legal. So as I said before, I will be supporting these things.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments on the debt project? Okay, hearing none, hearing none, the protocol, favorable action is to take $553,991, 35 to the rating. Favorable action is to support the debt article. Protocol. No.
Mr. Foley?
No.
Mr. Gephardt?
Yes.
Mr. Howe?
No.
Mr. Lanza?
Yes.
Mr. Madden?
No.
Mr. Fix?
Yes.
Mr. Sammy? No. Ms. Travis?
No.
3 yes, 6 no.
The amendment fails. I'd like to make a motion that we take a 10-minute break. Will you make that motion? Motion to take a 10-minute break. Second by Councilor Foley. All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are in recess.